Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the third week of 2021, January 18th until the 22nd. Retail, low print and imports, plus our community spotlight, where you show off your pickups and potentially win a physical Switch game. It's been a cold start to the year as always, but I hope things are going to start to warm up soon. Anyways, this week in Europe, it looks like Theme Park Simulator is getting released physically from Badlands Games. Although knowing their release dates, that means it's entirely uncertain. Not sure they've ever had a solid release date for anything they've put out. There's supposedly a standard edition as well as a collector's edition that comes with a book, ride card, park map, tickets and bracelet, trying to go for that proper theme park experience. Now, I don't believe this is a management sim like you may be imagining, but I think it's more that you control the rides themselves, like speed and such. I don't know, it could be alright, but I would definitely wait for reviews on this one. The standard edition is about £30, while the collector's edition is almost $40, and if you're in America and you want to import this, there'll be links below for that. In North America, it appears you guys are getting a bit of a belated release in Offroad Racing. Europe has had this game quite a while now, although it's hardly a common sight in stores or in people's collections. We haven't seen it much. It's a bit of a cheap, cheerful, extreme racing experience from Micro, so you kind of know what you're going to expect. B-tier games, hopefully doesn't run too terribly on the Switch. Actually, I have no idea about this one. If anyone's played it, do me a favor and let everyone know how it runs on the Switch. Should we avoid it or not? Now, there are no low prints this week as far as I could tell, so let's delve into a couple of imports. Just remember, if any take your fancy and you'd like to import them for yourself, then there are import links below in the description and the pinned comment. It helps support this little series so much. You have no idea. We love you guys. Thank you ever so much for your wonderful support. So if you want to import them, links are below in the description. And in return for using our links, you can also get a very nice 5% off your order when checking out if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV. That's all one word while checking out SwitchWatch TV for 5% off your order, and it also supports us massively. Samurai Jack Battle Through Time is probably the tastiest of imports this week. Yes, Limited Run already put pre-orders out for this one, but the Japanese release is this week if you missed that one. Or maybe you live in Europe and didn't fancy it from the Americas. This does have English and is a pretty decent action game based on the well-loved TV show. I'm surprised Limited Run haven't sent theirs out yet. It seems like quite a while ago since they put pre-orders up. I honestly assumed they would have theirs out first compared to this Japanese release. Anyways, I might be interested in this Japanese release. I'm sure I'll be able to find it much cheaper down the line than a limited run one. And Dean Wilkinson, Alolan Jojo, and God of Resin have chosen Samurai Jack as their pick of the week. Another samurai-flavored game, we've got Samurai Force Shing. This is a Japanese localization of the simply titled Shing in the West. Now, this is getting a Western physical sometime down the line, thanks to our friends at Pixel Heart, which, by the way, I'm taking 100% credit for, as I did suggest to both parties that they should work together to make a physical in the West. So, yeah, I'll take my finder's fee by PayPal, thanks. But if you can't wait for that release, which is available to pre-order now, then you can get this Japanese version, which does have English. It's a fun looking beat 'em up, and I would definitely like to get my hands on it, hence why I suggested it for a physical version in Europe. Gannicus, Alexander Kato, Jonathan Rumo, and Boombox have all chosen this Samurai Force Shing as their pick of the week. Alright, let's jump into the Let's Get Physical community spotlight. Remember, if you're showed off in the series, then at the end of the month, you'll be in with the chance of winning a physical Switch game. This month is Dead or School. Next week is the last chance to get your entry in. So starting with me, what have I got? Well, how about the granddaddy import of them all? I Am Setsuna. This was a launch game for the Switch in both West and Japan, but only Japan got the physical goodness. So in actuality, it was the first import exclusive with English on the cartridge, bringing me to a whole world of money spent on these exclusive delights. I bought it back in the day, but then I sold it to my friend. But, in bolstering my JRPG collection, it needed to be in, so I bought it again. As far as JRPGs go, it's pretty much like a 7 out of 10 kind of game. It's stripped back, it's simple, trying to go for a Chrono Trigger style battle system. The music is beautiful, and I did actually enjoy playing it. It's not top tier, but it's almost sentimental to have in my collection. I'll pop a link below if you fancy this for yourself. There is a Japanese version. I believe there's a South Asian version with English cover, but I don't know where to get that from. Plus, there's a recently released Hong Kong version, which also has English. Again, links are below. Alright, on to you lot. Same deal as last week for this week, but next week we have our very first theme of 2021. Yes, I'm going to try and do a theme one per month. Next week for the community spotlight, I want you to show me your top 3 favorite box arts for the Switch. Yeah, 3. No more, no less. Your top 3 side by side. Which box art do you like the most? Standard editions, collector's editions, even Steam box, any is fine. Feel free to write a sentence as to why and maybe which one of the bunch is your favorite. If you don't send in something thematic, I'll keep it for the week after. So yeah, next week, your top 3 favorite Switch box arts. 3! Alright, with that in mind, this week, a normal week, executive producer Santa Tartaruga picked up some nice skins, plus a couple of games. Again, seeing that 1971 game a lot recently, I think it must have been on sale somewhere. If anyone has played it, let me know what you think. Yo, Daddy wanted to show off the collector's edition of Ori in all its glory. Ori Glory, like it. It's a really beautiful package, a bit too expensive for my taste, but you can see the value is there to it. Everything is just awesome. I Am 8-Bit have really set themselves up as major players in the publishing world, especially of indie games. Spawn7 picked these up recently. Big thanks for using our links and code for Pawamuri there. The other 3 games, very nice. Ni no Kuni is essential for JRPG fans, while Terraria is a game that will last you a lifetime pretty much if you get sucked into it. Streaming on the Corner sent in this photo with the lovely looking VGNY US version of Wallachia. I think that's going to be one of their most popular releases, even if just for the cover art alone. Corey Graham showed off the beautiful looking signature edition of Spirit of the North. I can imagine this game not being to everyone's taste and probably not mine either, but like all signature editions, it is beautiful. They put out some really quality products. Ying got in the Asian release of Shantae 7 Sirens, which looks like it came with a badge or something. Really good game and a fine alternative to Limited Run if you missed a pre-order period for it. Plus, I think the art is a little bit better here. It's very similar, but I think this one is a little bit more zoomed in. Mr. Valgard got in a couple of fine collector's editions, Crosscode from Strictly Limited, and the Japanese Stardew Valley, which is almost mythical. I suspect it's gone down in price a lot since the Western release, but I actually prefer this cover art personally. Chris Hepburn picked up these, including a nice white Lego Steenbok. I didn't know they did that color. I thought they were all blue. Robert showed off these games, an absolute monster that Limited Run did of Streets of Rage 4. Had no idea it was so beastly. I also got in Cthulhu Saves Christmas. I'm just surprised it's arriving before Easter. That's some pretty quick turnaround from Limited Run on this one. Zone 7 got in 2 games from One Print, the Japanese low print company, It'll Do and Death Square. 2 really nice titles. I definitely wish I picked up It'll Do. It's a Zelda-like game that could, really do with the support. YZ sent in this picture of some lovely pickups. That's the Food Girls Collector's Edition, which has very much been in my eyesight for quite a while, although maybe I will settle for the Standard Edition. Also great to see the Taiko RPG Adventures, the Japanese version, which does have English. Totally Simon got in these, a nice bit of super rare, always very popular to see around here. In fact, it's nice to see that all the games here are doing well. Starting to see a lot more Puyo Puyo, which is, always nice to see. Sudden 666 showed off these buttes, the Prisoner edition of Dead Cells, which is an absolute monster. Be sure to check out Juan's unboxing of that bad boy. He made a separate video for it. Stevie picked up these. Shovel Knight is just a fantastic game, and it was the first Kickstarter that I ever backed, and so far it's the only one that's ever come out worthy of what I paid for it, and then some. It's crazy that they've had to support so many platforms with so much content, and I can't wait to see what the developers do next. Rovest sent in a massive haul of games, including the Japanese release of Dead or School, which the European version is going to be a prize next week. Hopefully you don't end up with 2. Robin Hatherall showed off some games. Ari hasn't been seen too often here. I thought it was going to be a bit of a sleeper hit, this one. A mid-budget game. Looks kind of cool in the trailers, but I guess the reviews weren't strong enough for it. I don't know, I haven't played it, but I think if I saw it cheap, I would probably give it a shot. It seems like my kind of game. McLaren sent in 2 photos, one of the Fate Extella Collector's Edition for the Japanese version, it looks like. I don't know if it has English or not, actually. And some nice Sonic Mania. John Weston got in these games, including Mercenary Kings, which is one of Limited Run's very earliest releases. Their logo looks super tight. Skinny. Good old shmup collection is always nice. That's the cover exclusive to VGNY, and the interesting if flawed release of Road to Guangdong. I have this one personally. I heard it's a bit rough around the edges, but as someone who lives in China, I just needed it. It wasn't actually released in America, so yeah, only in Asia and Europe so far. H&F sent in this photo of some fine games. I do want to get Mary Skelter 2, but sadly, as a low print release, I don't really have many options anymore, hence why I always prefer retail any day of the week. Joshua Brown picked up these games recently. Ukulele, I mean, that game could and should have been retail. The publisher is more than capable of it, as they published much smaller games physically before by themselves. It was priced high at first with high shipping costs for me, but now it's not easy to get, and if it was retail, I'd still be able to get it now, and now I'd probably be able to pay a reasonable price for it. But no, it's low print, so game over for me. Yusha, many thanks for using our codes to pick up the Asian version of Omega Labyrinth Life, the one that does have English. Quite a fun game, not one for the faint of heart though. I really enjoy my collector's edition, even though it's quite hard to hide from the relatives. It ain't subtle. Steven665, many thanks for using our code. Also on Omega Labyrinth Life, there must have been something in the water recently. Plus Horizon Chase Turbo, which I swear I will pick up one day. Rick Krolbert, also big thanks for using our codes and links to pick up some of these games like Pawamuri and Mistover, a very obscure import RPG. This is also another time we've seen Hard West, the European exclusive. It's going really cheap these days, so I highly recommend you pick it up while it is. The game is good, which also helps. Marty Mar, thanks for using our links and code for Atomic Crops, a very unique game that, physically is exclusive to Japan. It is really good. We give it a high recommendation, although it may not be for everyone. Lars, big thanks for using our code to pick up the classic Fight Crab. Beautiful artwork in a B-movie kind of way, which is something, I massively appreciate. Box arts are just too serious these days. Joel Parker, a YouTube member, showed off John Wick Hex, which has some pretty badass artwork. Kind of reminds me of the Fear Effect games. Invicta, many thanks for using our links and code to pick up these games. The Japanese release of Final Fantasy X and 10 Part 2 is phenomenal. There are a handful of Asian versions like the Hong Kong one, the Southeast Asian one, and this one that have both games on the cartridge, unlike the Western versions. Executive producer God of Resin picked up these games, a triple threat of North American pixel art games and their special cover versions, Finding Teddy 2, Shmup Collection, and the gorgeous Wallachia. Crit Cat, many thanks for using our links and code on the Japanese version of Witch Spring 3. Sadly, this did not come with the extra goodies that the Asian version did, but it's still a beautiful box nonetheless. They also picked up the legendary Clanad from Amazon Japan. Executive producer Boomboxing in this picture, good old Grandia, as well as Regions of Ruin, a fairly recent distribution title from Limited Run. Not sure why Yandu Soft didn't do it themselves, they already have their own low print company. Blue Brito, many thanks for using our code on Shirin the Wanderer. Still happy to see even after Limited Run put out their pre-orders. Executive producer Alolan Jojo also supported us with our links and codes, thank you ever so much, with these fine games alongside a music CD for Pokemon. Panty Party, the Perfect Body Edition, is a title that went under the radar. I think many people remember the Asian release via PlayAsia like last year, but took less notice with this updated version released in Japan a few months back. Executive producer Alexander Kato sent in Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger something. I can't actually remember the proper title off the top of my head, but this is a great one from Japan. I think Limited Run did a version of this many moons ago, but this is a great alternative if you missed that. And now, I think it's time for a roundup. Adam Karaskilo, Art Phoenix Asordis, Certified, Dimigs, Flower Angel Rave, Goma, Inactive Yeti, Neverbirth, Pabs, Park Ranger, Peter Clark, Rain, Yikes Bikes, Chew It. I'm not going to do it again, okay?
I like to chew it. I like to chew it.
And that's it, guys. I always enjoy seeing what you guys pick up. Please send me your pics on Twitter over at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or you can tag me in a post and use the hashtag #Let'sGetPhysical. I'll also give you a nice little retweet if I remember. Or you can email into us at contactors@switchwatch.co.uk. Just remember to start the email title with Community Spotlight so I don't miss it. Plus, we have a Discord where you can send your pictures in there in the submission section and also have a nice little chat with us when we're online. The Discord link is below. Please try to send me just one picture per week. I'd really appreciate that much if you group all your games together, unless it's an unboxing. Really appreciate it. Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of New Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumo, Gannicus, Santa Tartaruga, Alolan Jojo, and Alexander Kato. Thank you ever so much for your support, plus our other YouTube members. Check out last week's episode in case you missed it. And thank you for you watching right now. If you watched all the way here, you're a legend of the highest order. Give me a high five in the comments, because the longer you watch, the more YouTube likes us and the more this channel and this series can grow. So thank you ever so much. Check out James's bargains video from yesterday, so you can save a little bit money or probably spend more than you planned. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see you guys over there. Take care.